So, boys and girls, when we talk about consumer protection, first of all, we need to know who is a consumer. All right. So, who is a consumer? I'll come on to importance of this later on. First of all, who is a consumer? So, any person who has purchased goods or services which have been paid for in part or fully, or have been promised to be paid for, is called a consumer. I repeat, who is a consumer? Any person who has purchased any goods or services which he has paid in full or part or has promised to pay for in future is called as a consumer. Not only this, it also includes the people or the persons who have borrowed such goods and services with the actual buyer. So there are two kinds of consumers. पहला जो मैंने आपको बताया, दूसरा, let's say I have purchased any goods. Let's say I have a bike and somebody borrows, my friend borrows that bike, obviously with my permission. Borrowing to permission से ही होती है ना. Then he would also be considered as a consumer. All right. So this is a consumer. तो सबसे पहले हमने बात की कंज्यूमर की. अब बात करते हैं what is consumer protection. So Consumer Protection Act 2019 that we are studying. So Consumer Protection Act 2019 is an act which has been established in order to, again, the two P's, in order to protect the consumer and promote his rights. Okay. So what are the two P's we have here? The purpose of this act is to protect, the protection and the promotion of his rights and responsibilities. So consumer protection refers to protection of consumers. और protection किससे करना है बेटा? Protection from unscrupulous, exploitative and unfair trade practices. अब इतने बड़े बड़े words, if you don't know, then it's not necessary for you to use these words. You can simply say consumer protection refers to the protection of consumers from all kind of unfair trade practices and exploitation. Two words: unfair trade practices and exploitation of the marketers. It also aims at promoting the consumer rights. It is promoting, that is why you are studying about it. Otherwise, there was no point in putting it as a syllabus in the market, in the putting it as a part of the syllabus. Now the point is, अब इस consumer protection की जरूरत हमें क्यों है? So importance from the customer's point of view. So the first is consumer ignorance. The consumers are ignorant. They don't even know about their rights, or if they don't know about their rights, they don't know what agencies they can refer to in case they are aggrieved or in case they are dissatisfied with the product or service. Also, at times consumers feel, अरे थोड़ा सा ही तो पैसा involve है, let it be. Okay, जाने दो. What they don't understand is कि बूंद बूंद करके घड़ा भरता है. There are millions of people. We are the highly populated country on the face of the earth. So अगर किसी एक कंपनी ने एक कंज्यूमर से 10 पैसा भी चुराया है तो उसके पास तो करोड़ों इकट्ठे हो जाएंगे, right? So consumer ignorance is the first reason that consumers are ignorant and they don't know about their rights and they don't know how to where to go and how to exercise their rights. That is first reason. The second one is unorganized consumers. Consumers are absolutely scattered. They are not unified as in associations. That is why they can be very easily exploited. You understand one thing, that when people are together, it is difficult to exploit them. But when they're unorganized, scattered, not a part of certain agencies or groups, then it is very easy to exploit them. So consumers, they are absolutely unorganized, and therefore in order to motivate them to be organized, we have consumers protection. Then widespread exploitation of consumers. Exploitation of consumer is not a new thing. It has been rampant. It has been there for a very long period of time. So marketers may exploit, I will not say do exploit, marketers may exploit the rights of the consumers by using, by providing substandard products or by charging higher prices or by exploiting the consumer in some other way, like making false claims about the product. So that is why this was the 3 points from the consumer's point of view. अब ये ध्यान रख लेना क्योंकि आपकी बुक्स में अलग अलग नहीं दिया होगा. So importance from consumer's point of view is they are ignorant, they are unorganized, and there is widespread exploitation of the consumers. And from the business point of view, this is something which we have done in in class 11, chapter 6, social responsibilities of business and business ethics, that why should a business or discharge its social responsibility. These points are the same points hai usme. So long term interest of the business, if a business wants to exist in the market for a long period of time, then it's in the interest of the business to satisfy the consumer, because consumer is the king of the market now. Businessmen use society's resources. We say that since a business uses the resources of the society only, that's why it becomes the responsibility of the business to utilize those resources in the best possible manner and provide the best possible product at the best possible price. So it's like give and take. The business uses the resources of the society, and therefore the final product as the outcome of those resources should be in the interest of the consumer. We are referring to the societal concept of marketing over here, basically. Then social responsibilities, it says that a business has, as not as an economic objective, but as a social objective, a business has responsibility towards various interest groups, towards various stakeholders, out of which consumers is one of the prominent group. Therefore, it becomes the social responsibility as well as the moral responsibility of a business to work in the favor of the consumer. Then moral justification, again, we are talking about what? Ethics. Ethics also say that when you're charging the consumers for various goods and services, the best goods or services should be provided. So all kind of unfair trade practices, exploitative measures, adulteration, all this should not be done by the business as on the part of morality. And lastly, government intervention. If a business wants to avoid government intervention, then it should itself, by its free will, work in the favor of the consumer. So if the business does not want the government to be involved or government to interfere, because if a business is going to be involved in any kind of malpractices, sooner or later there will be government intervention. So in order to avoid government intervention, a business should voluntarily go for consumer protection. And consumer protection means working in the favor of the consumer. That means providing the best quality of goods at the most reasonable prices at the right place and in right quantities, and not use any kind of exploitative measures. कंज्यूमर राइट्स यूजुअली ये एक सेगमेंट है जहां से आपके पास क्वेश्चन आ जाता है. सो आपके पास क्या हो सकता है, मैक्सिमम आपको 4 कंज्यूमर राइट्स पूछे जा सकते हैं. आपसे पूछा जा सकता है विच कंज्यूमर राइट हैज द कंज्यूमर not applied or has been violated or has been highlighted over here. So very easy topic. 5 consumer rights are there. Right to safety. अब इसमें बेटा words का थोड़ा आपको ध्यान देना पड़ेगा. I'll just mark out the words which have hazardous. Yes. So it says a consumer has a right. A consumer has a right to be protected against goods and services which are, this is the most important word, hazardous to life and property. ये आपके keywords हैं बेटा यहाँ पे. So what is it? A consumer has a right to be protected against such goods and services which are hazardous to life and property. And therefore, अब इसके साथ responsibility क्या आ जाती है? And therefore, a consumer should look for quality marks. A consumer should always go for standard products with quality marks and should look for these quality marks like ISI goods. So ISI mark comes on all kind of electrical appliances and kitchen appliances also. जो pressure cooker आपके घर में use होता है उस पे भी ISI mark होता है, right? जितने भी geysers हैं, electrical appliances हैं, उस पे भी ISI mark होता है. So a consumer, if a consumer wants to be safe, then he has to look for these standard marks. तो right के साथ responsibility भी आ गई. Right क्या है? Right to safety. Responsibility क्या है? To look for the quality standard marks like ISI mark, BIS mark, FPO, FSSAI, etc. to ensure the quality of the product. Then next we have right to information. Right to information again is related with marketing. हमने एक topic दिया था labeling. Labeling का purpose है to provide information. So what does it say? A consumer has a right to get complete and right information about the goods or services in order to protect himself from any kind of unfair practices. Okay. Therefore, a label providing all the information about the product should be made available on the package or along with the product. Even when we talk about services, आपने देखा होगा these days, even when you go to a restaurant, मेन्यू में भी एक शॉर्ट डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया होता है कि व्हाट आर द वेरियस इंग्रेडिएंट्स यूज्ड, दैट आल्सो कम्स अंडर राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन बिकॉज you may be allergic to some kind of a food component and therefore that description needs to be given. So right to information means that a consumer has a right to have information, a complete and truthful information about the product or service he is willing to pay for or consume. Again, the purpose is to save himself. Then right to be assured. It is not right to be assured. It is right to choose. So right to choose means that a consumer has all the right to choose the best product from amongst the variety of products available in the market. In other words, it means to say that the marketer or the seller cannot force the consumer to buy any specific product. He needs to make available the entire variety or various kinds of products that he has, and the consumer will choose in between the products, keeping his requirements and his safety as a concern. Then right to be heard or right to representation. It says that a consumer has a right to file a complaint or has a right to be representative, to be heard in case he is dissatisfied with the goods or services. I repeat, it says that a consumer has a right to file a complaint, he has a right to be heard, he has a right to be represented in case of any kind of unscrupulous trade activities. That means in case he is not happy, he is not satisfied with the quality of the product. So he can file a complaint. And where will he file a complaint? Usually he files a complaint first with the seller. And in case he is not heard or there is no action taken by the seller, then he can go to a consumer redressal agency also. अभी हम next segment में ये भी करेंगे कि किसके against case file किया जा सकता है. We'll take that later. So right to be heard, right to consumer education. Consumer education means a consumer has a right to be educated. He has a right to know his rights. That's the right to consumer education. तो आप ये जो पढ़ रहे हो अभी consumer education, that comes under right to consumer education. A consumer has a right to be educated, to be aware about his rights and his responsibilities also, and how to exercise those rights. Now, students do get confused between right to information and right to consumer education. दो बिल्कुल अलग-अलग चीज हैं. आपको अपने अधिकारों के बारे में पता होना चाहिए. A consumer has a right to know about his rights. That is consumer education. However, a consumer needs to have the complete information about the product or service, have a properly labeled product that comes under right to information. So don't get confused over there. Like if you have seen any web series or movies, aapko kaha jata hai, if a police arrests someone, the police always tells you have a right to keep your mouth shut because anything that you speak can be used against you. That's a right to education. कि हम तुम्हें अभी बता रहे हैं कि अभी बिना कुछ समझे बोलोगे तो आपके अगेंस्ट भी यूज हो सकता है. That's education. So आप जो पढ़ाई कर रहे हो अभी, that is right to education. And the last one is right to seek redressal. Right to seek redressal is related with right to be heard. Now, what is this? It says that it is not good enough just to hear or file the complaint of the consumer. Rather, a proper compensation or redressal or the word relief should be made available to the consumer. So what does right to seek redressal says? It says that a proper relief should be provided to the consumer in case his complaint is found truthful. So there are various reliefs which are available, which we are going to do in the next section. So let's sum it up again. What are the 5 rights? Right to be heard, right to seek redressal, right to information, right to consumer education, right to safety, and right to choose. 6 rights हैं हमारे. Okay, 3 यहाँ किए हमने और 3 इस slide पे किए थे. 6 rights, and max to max you may be asked about 4 rights. So since we were talking about reliefs, okay, I'll first tell you the reliefs and then we will come on to the responsibilities. So these are the various reliefs. ये one liner है, इसमें कोई heading नहीं आता है, कोई explanation नहीं आता है, यही आता है. Okay, so let's say I purchased a packet of chocolate from the market and I checked the components. I read the label very carefully and On consumption, I fell ill. I filed a complaint against it. What are the various reliefs I can seek or which are available to me? इस तरह से क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है. तो अगर 4 मार्क्स में पूछा जाएगा तो आप 4 reliefs लिखोगे, और 4 मार्क्स से ज्यादा का ये क्वेश्चन है भी नहीं. अगर 6 मार्कर में आएगा तो कॉम्बिनेशन क्वेश्चन आएगा. सो एनीवेज, व्हाट आर द वेरियस रिलीफ्स? रिमूवल ऑफ डिफेक्ट्स इन द गुड्स, रिप्लेस, सबसे आसान क्या होता है? रिप्लेसमेंट ऑफ गुड्स, refund of the price paid, okay, discontinuing the unfair trade practices, not to offer hazardous goods for sale. तो इसको बेटा ऐसे समझो कि सबसे पहले क्या होगा, अगर आपकी कोई कंप्लेंट है तो क्या होगा, ठीक है बेटा, अच्छा प्रोडक्ट गलत था, कोई बात नहीं, ये दे दो, नया ले लो. So that is exchange of the product, getting a new product instead or in lieu of the wrong product. That is one thing. Or refund of price. That is the second thing. Third is any fit compensation. जो भी पार्टी को compensation सही लगता है, आप दोनों पार्टीज को वो adequate compensation मिल सकता है, right? 3. अब चौथा आप कह रहे हो, आपका अगर प्रोडक्ट कोई गलत हो, कहेगा ठीक है आप दे जाइए, हम इसे सही करके दे देंगे. So that is removal of defects from the good. Now probably the batch, the entire batch is rot, पूरा batch ही खराब है, तो क्या हो जाएगा? Removal of the goods from the market. ये है आपका, देखिए, withdraw the hazardous goods from being offered for sale. जितने हैं मार्केट में उनको ही पूरा विड्रॉ करना है. Then this is another one, not to offer hazardous goods for sale. So अगर वो खराब है goods तो उनको हम बेचेंगे नहीं. तो one thing, we are not going to sell it. Secondly, the entire batch will be retracted back from the market. तो वो withdraw हो रहा है. तो बीच में एक हुआ था, एक कंपनी के कार कंपनी के कुछ एक पर्टिकुलर लॉट में कुछ प्रॉब्लम आया था, तो उस कार कंपनी ने उस पर्टिकुलर लॉट की सारी कार्स को वापस मंगवा लिया था. सो दैट वाज विड्रॉल ऑफ गुड्स. देन पेमेंट ऑफ एडिक्वेट कॉस्ट टू द अग्रीव पार्टी. कोई एडिक्वेट कॉस्ट या कॉम्पनसेशन जो अग्रीव पार्टी को लगता है वो भी दे सकते हैं, राइट? Also, I have left it over here to pay compensation to the consumer for any loss or injury as has been suffered by him due to the what we say dissatisfied due to the wrong product or service rather. Issue corrective advertisement to neutralize the effect of a misleading advertisement. If it is about misleading advertisements, then a corrective advertisement needs to be issued so that the effect of the improper advertisement is washed out. And to pay adequate cost to the appropriate market. इतने सारे हैं, इसमें से आपको 4 पॉइंटर्स करने हैं. However, you need to identify also कि अगर आपको दिया, वैसे केस स्टडी इसकी आती नहीं है, but still you need to just go through these pointers and you need to know 4 reliefs available to a consumer. So we talked about rights, we talked about reliefs, we go to the responsibilities. Whenever we talk about rights always come with responsibilities. तो क्या responsibilities हैं? Consumer must exercise their rights. First of all, the consumer should know what are his rights and he should be ready to exercise his rights. That means what are his rights? He should be quality conscious. He should check for quality marks. And in case he is still cheated, is exploited, he should go file a case. That is what is meant by right. Consumer must exercise their rights. Okay. देन कॉशियस कस्टमर. बेटा ये हेडिंग्स में नहीं लिखना है आपको, बिल्कुल भी नहीं. ये जो टॉपिक है ये हेडिंग्स में है ही नहीं, ये भी वन लाइनर्स है. सो व्हाट आर द वेरियस रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज ऑफ अ कंज्यूमर? आई टेक इट फ्रॉम द बॉटम. फर्स्ट, अ कंज्यूमर, आपकी लैंग्वेज एग्जैक्टली वही होनी चाहिए जो मैं बोल रही हूँ. अ कंज्यूमर मस्ट इंसिस्ट ऑन प्रूफ ऑफ परचेज. दैट मीन्स ही मस्ट इंसिस्ट on he must have a cash memo or a bill of the purchase. Secondly, a good consumer should be quality conscious. He should look for quality standard marks like FPO, FSA, FSSAI, ISI marks, etc. Then he should make a wise choice. What I'll do is I'll take you to the previous slide. यहां से सो राइट टू सेफ्टी का मैंने आपको बताया था, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी क्या है? अ कंज्यूमर शुड लुक फॉर क्वालिटी मार्क्स सो दैट ही बाइज द बेस्ट प्रोडक्ट. राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन, अ कंज्यूमर शुड रीड द लेबल्स एंड डिस्क्रिप्शंस प्रॉपरली बिफोर मेकिंग अ बाइंग डिसीजन. Third, right to choose. A consumer should choose wisely from amongst the various alternatives available and buy the best product. Then a consumer should file a case in case he has been exploited or cheated or is not satisfied with the quality of the product or service. Then a consumer has right to consumer education में क्या आएगा? A consumer has a right to exercise his rights. Okay. And the right last one is a consumer should insist on getting an appropriate relief. ओके. सो 6 राइट्स के साथ ही आप 6 रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज अटैच कर दीजिए और काम हो गया खत्म. So rights, responsibilities, reliefs. Now where do we go? We go on to ways and means of consumer protection. I don't think this is in our syllabus. Coming on to three-tier redressal agencies. This is important again. So, according to Consumer Protection Act 2019, by the way, we have Consumer Protection Act 2021 also, but हमारे syllabus में 2019 ही है. So 21 में कुछ changes और आ गए हैं, which are not in our realms, we'll leave it. So, as per Consumer Protection Act 2019, there is a three-tier redressal agency. District Forum, अब District Forum बदल के क्या हो गया है? It is District Commission now. So all three are commissions: District Commission, State Commission, and National Commission. Obviously, District Commission is at the district level, State Commission is at the state level, and National Commission is one at the national level. So what do you need to know about this? So District Commission is established at the district level, and it is established by the state government. Okay, this is first thing. It is established at all the districts because there are a number of districts, a number of exploitative cases. So District Commission is established at the district level by the state government. Second, uska composition kya hota hai? A District Commission comprises of a president and not less than 2 members. Okay, I repeat, a president and not less than 2 members, out of which one has to be a female. At least one lady has to be a part of the District Commission. So ये आपका second point हुआ. Third point, the District Commission will entertain complaints where the value of goods and services does not exceed rupees 1 crore. So there are two things: the value of goods and services or the compensation claimed. I repeat, where the value of goods and services or the compensation claimed does not exceed 1 crore. This is the third point. Fourth point kya hai? What will the District Commission do? On receipt of the complaint, the Commission sends the goods or services for testing in the laboratory if required, and then gives a verdict on the basis of the, I repeat, what happens is, first the District Commission informs the other party, so the aggrieved party will reach over here, and the other party, the seller, usko inform karenge. फिर goods and services are sent for testing in the laboratory, और जब उसका result आ जाएगा तो उसके basis पे verdict देंगे. तो आपको क्या बताना है? पहला, District Commission है क्या? दूसरा, उसका composition क्या है? ये दूसरा point आया. थर्ड, कितनी वैल्यू तक के केसेस यहाँ पे लड़े जाते हैं. फोर्थ, ये वाला जो है कि वो करता क्या है, हाउ डज इट डू द प्रोसेस, दिस यू मे ड्रॉप. ओके, सो फोर्थ पॉइंट क्या होगा? द फोर्थ पॉइंट इज, इन केस अ कंज्यूमर इज डिससैटिस्फाइड with the order given by the District Commission, he has a right to appeal against the District Commission in State Commission when within 45 days from the date of the order. So in case a consumer is dissatisfied with District Commission, he can move to State Commission within 45 days of the order given by the District Commission. तो ये 4 points आप हर चीज में cover करोगे. यही 4 चीजें we are going to take up in the State Commission. So obviously State Commission is formed at the state level by the state government again. Okay. Now, what does it comprise of? So first point आ गया इसका कि कहाँ होता है. Second is composition. Composition is the same. One president and not less than 2 members, including one female. Okay, one lady. Then third, what is the jurisdiction? So State Commission entertains the complaints where the value of the goods or services considered or the compensation claimed is above rupees 1 crore, but not more than 10 crores. So here the bracket is 1 CR, minimum 1 CR to max of 10 CR. Okay. And the last one, काम क्या करता है? काम इनका भी वही है. So they are going to hear the complaint against the previous court कि they are not happy. ये भी वापस अपने एंगल पे टेस्टिंग करवाएंगे पूरा उसका, like they are going to check out with all the parties और फिर अपना वर्डिक्ट देंगे. ठीक है, इन्वेस्टिगेट करेंगे केस को और वर्डिक्ट देंगे. अब यहाँ पे क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है? इन केस द कंज्यूमर इज नॉट हैप्पी विद द रिजल्ट्स ऑफ द order given by the State Commission, they can again move on to the National Commission. But here the time is crucial. It's not 1.5 months. It's not 45 days. It's only 30 days from the date of the order of the State Commission. And lastly, we come on to National Commission. National Commission is established at the national level. It comprises of one president and not less than 4 members. So यहाँ पे members change हो गए हैं. So पहले में क्या है? President and 2 members. Second also president and 2 members. Here we have president and 4 members. And it listens or the cases where the value of the goods or services or the compensation claimed is above rupees 10 crore or have passed from the junior court, that is the State Commission, come to the National Commission. Now there is something interesting for you to know. Any person aggrieved by any order made by the National Commission may prefer an appeal against such order. So the point is, an appeal against the National Commission can be made in the Supreme Court within a period of 30 days from the date of the order. Okay. So again, अगर आप यहाँ पे भी खुश नहीं है तो आप यहाँ से आगे जा सकते हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट में within 30 days from the date of the order of the National Commission. But there is a catch over here. Now, what is the catch? In case the case has moved from district to state and then to National Commission, then it cannot go to Supreme Court. Okay. However, if the case was originally filed in the National Commission and the consumer is dissatisfied, then they can move to Supreme Court. इसकी केस स्टडीज भी आ चुकी हैं, so इसको ध्यान रखिएगा. अगर नीचे जूनियर कोर्ट से नेशनल कमीशन में एक केस आया और अभी कंज्यूमर नेशनल कमीशन से भी डिससेटिस्फाइड है, then he cannot go to Supreme Court because Supreme Court listens to most important of the cases. It's not villa. It's not, not free to listen to all kinds of cases. So a case which has already passed through 3 courts is not gonna be entertained in the Supreme Court. However, if the value of the goods or services in consideration or the compensation claim was above 10 crores and it was originally filed in National Commission and the complainant is dissatisfied, then it can be taken up in the Supreme Court. तो जब आप क्वेश्चन पढ़ेंगे इसका बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान रखिएगा कि what was the movement of the case. Okay, so this is 3-tier redressal system, which is again very easy. Let me see if there is something which, yes, you can just focus on this point. Who can be a president? In district forum, the president has to be a working or a retired judge of the district court. In state commission, it has to be a working or retired judge of the high court. And in national commission, it has to be a working or retired judge of the Supreme Court. तो ये आपको एक point आप इसमें ध्यान रख सकते हैं. Appointment of president appointed by the state government, here also appointed by the state government, here by the central government. इसमें कोई है नहीं. Jurisdiction की हम बात कर चुके हैं. आप ये देख रहे हो, यहाँ पे लिखा है claim does not exceed 50 lakhs. ये मैंने change नहीं किया है. I was not able to. This is as per Consumer Protection Act 2021. तो इसको नहीं करेंगे हम. हमारा क्या है यहाँ पे? Max up to 1 CR. So we say cases not exceeding 1 CR. That means 1 crore से ज्यादा का नहीं होना चाहिए. And here, above 1 crore to maximum of 10 CR, and here we have above 10 CR. So that's the bracket we know. Appeal against court, we can know, we do that. And I've already explained that. So इसमें कुछ दोबारा करने का जरूरत नहीं है. Okay, coming on to the role. I think I missed something in between. Let me just cross-check it if there is something I have messed up. No. So coming on to the last topic, role of NGOs in consumer protection. So what role do NGOs do in protecting and promoting consumer protection? Okay. So what are NGOs? NGOs are non-government organizations which work for various purposes and objectives. And basically they take up various social issues where, like we are talking about consumer protection, where the people are unorganized and ignorant and they work for their welfare. So अब ये consumer organizations क्या कर सकते हैं और what is their role in protecting and promoting consumer protection? So what is this? The first one is providing education to the general public. NGOs organize various kinds of workshops and seminars, or they can have broadcasts or various WhatsApp groups also, or in small groups they can, so their purpose is to educate the consumers about their rights. So first point is NGOs educate the consumers about their rights, responsibilities, and the reliefs available to them. Then second is they undertake publication of various, or you can say they undertake various kind of research work and publish the data for the welfare of the public. So they share it in the form of periodicals, etc., in the favor of consumer. Then they may also conduct, they can send various goods and services for testing in various laboratories and publish the results thereof so that consumers come to know about it. They represent, or they can rather say, they represent the aggrieved consumer and can file a case on behalf of the consumer. They can also file a case on behalf of the general public. So दो चीजें हैं, एक तो I can go to an NGO and I can tell them that I don't have the time, money and energy, so you represent me. So an NGO can file a case on my behalf. Secondly, an NGO can file a case in its own capacity for public interest. They can provide legal assistance to the consumers, okay? And they can also, initiative तो हमने कर लिया है, they can also initiate a legal procedure by filing the case in the consumer court. So basically we've done this. So what are the basic things? One is providing, educating the consumers about their rights and responsibilities and how to exercise them. Organizing the consumers. They also aim at organizing the consumers so that they get themselves associated in groups so that they are not exploited. Third, they represent the various consumers in consumer courts. Third, they file cases in the consumer courts in public interest. Next, they can conduct various kinds of researches and publish the data thereof. And last one we can take is they can come out with various kinds of periodicals and publications in which they discuss or they bring about awareness about consumer education and promote the consumers to be organized and educated and take an action for their own welfare. So यहाँ से पूछा जा सकता है 3 marker, not more than that. Usually not more than that. Now, who is a consumer? I have already told you. And who can file a complaint? A complaint can be filed by a consumer, by a registered consumer association, right? सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट या स्टेट गवर्नमेंट भी फाइल कर सकती है, कोई सेंट्रल अथॉरिटी केस फाइल कर सकती है, अभी हमने पढ़ा था एनजीओ फाइल कर सकते हैं. इन केस ऑफ द डेथ ऑफ अ कंज्यूमर, द लीगल हायर और द लीगल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव, दैट मीन्स नेक्स्ट इन द फैमिली कैन फाइल, आइदर द लीगल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव और नेक्स्ट इन द फैमिली कैन फाइल अ केस. वन और मोर कंज्यूमर्स ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ सो मेनी कंज्यूमर्स कैन फाइल अ केस एंड अ लीगल हायर. ये हमने यहाँ पे कर लिया. दिस इज द सेम पॉइंट given over here, so we'll not do it. So this is all about consumer education. ये हमें करने का मतलब नहीं है. हाँ, ये आपसे एक और है, against whom a complaint can be filed. This is important. So against whom a complaint can be filed. So complaint can be filed against one, the provider of the services, if they are deficient in any manner. जिसने भी आपको service provide की है, for example, you have gone for a meal in the restaurant, so the restaurant that provided you the services, you can file a case against it. Secondly, let's say you have purchased a mobile phone and the mobile phone did not function properly. So you first, obviously you're going to go to the seller. अब seller कहता है मेरे नहीं, मैंने तो आपको दिया था, आपको तब चेक करना चाहिए था, मेरी कोई जिम्मेदारी नहीं बनती, and so on. तो आप कहोगे कि भैया आप कम से कम जिस कंपनी का उससे तो बात करो, और कंपनी भी कोई एक्शन नहीं ले रही है. सो यू कैन फाइल अ केस अगेंस्ट द सेलर एज वेल एज द मैन्युफैक्चरर. सो इन शॉर्ट अगर हमें बोले, सो अ केस कैन बी फाइल्ड अगेंस्ट द सेलर, against the manufacturer or dealer of the defective goods. That means if I talk about the chain of distribution, a consumer can file a case against the retailer, the wholesaler, the distributor and the manufacturer. यानी सबके against case file किया जा सकता है depending upon the gravity of the subject matter. So in case there is any defect, any fault, any problem with the product, then a case can be filed against this. And deficiency means any kind of imperfection or shortcoming of inadequacy. So we usually use the word defect with products and deficiency with the services. So we say that if a consumer finds any kind of defect in the product or deficiency in the services, then he can file a case against either or all of these parties. And that is all. That's all that we had to do in this chapter. So basically आपका फोकस कहाँ होना चाहिए? राइट्स, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज, रिलीव्स. ये 3 टॉपिक्स आ गए. देन द 3-tier redressal system आ गया आपका. Who is the consumer against whom the cases can be filed? And the last thing is how do NGOs help in consumer protection? So that's it. 4 to 5 marks का chapter है. Very easy. Yes, a picture-based question can also be asked from here. So you can be shown either the Bismarck or the egg mark. आपकी NCERT book में पूरे एक पेज पे कुछ symbols दे रखे हैं. एक बार उनको पढ़ लीजिएगा. So that you know, FPO stands for Food Process or Organization. So जितने भी हमारे food processed foods होते हैं उस पे FPO मार्क होता है. FSSAI मार्क भी हमारा food products के ऊपर होता है. Then we have egg mark, agricultural products के ऊपर egg mark होता है. आपने एक देखा होगा घड़ा सा एक pot kind of रखा हुआ है. So वो आपका eco mark होता है. That means environment friendly products के लिए होता है. Bismarck is for gold jewelry. Right? Bismarck and Hallmark is for gold jewelry. ISI, I told you, is for electrical appliances and kitchen appliances के लिए होता है. So ये आपको picture based पूछा जा सकता है कि ये आपका जो symbol है ये किस तरह का with which kind of thing it is related with. So that's all about this chapter.